And we are live. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. You're watching Art Autopsy. This is a bi-weekly live art stream. I am your host, Clint Carney. I'm a professional artist working in the film and television industry. And every 2 weeks, I'm going to turn a light on over here. Yeah, there we go. Every 2 weeks, I get on the old YouTube and do some painting for you guys. Anybody watching at home, I encourage you to get out your art supplies and make some art with me. uh, any kind of art that you're into, just make it. It gives you an excuse to create every 2 weeks, if not more often than that. And please feel free to participate in the chat throughout the evening. So yeah, sound off if you're watching. Let's see, who do we got in the chat so far? We got Sarah, Ojasan Obscura, Liz Miller, and Jennifer Gupil. Hello, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see, what do we got? So, if you do end up making art on the live stream, feel free to email it to me. My email address is clintcarneycreates@gmail.com, and I will feature it on an upcoming live stream. And at the start of every episode, we go through the past week's viewer submissions. So we're going to start off once again with Liz Miller, who continues to improve and do badass stuff. And this, I believe, is a digital design. Correct me if I'm right or wrong, Liz. And Liz is studying the art of tattooing, and so she's working on some flash designs here. So super cool stuff. Anatomical hearts with daggers going through them. Dig it. Well done, Liz, as always. Let's see. And Serena Roman Luna Nocturna has joined the chat. Hello. And our next viewer, so great job, Liz. And our next viewer submission is 2 weeks in a row for Jimmy Arbaugh, Ojasan Obscura in the chat. And these are a selection of his pieces. I'm not sure which, if any of these, which ones were done during the last live stream. But in any case, it's a great showcase of his work. Really cool stuff. Dig it. Yeah, great job, Jimmy. Fantastic. So if you want to, since you're in the chat now, tell us a little bit about your process here. Are these acrylics, oils? Tell us what you're working with. Great stuff. And while giving Jimmy a chance to sound off in the chat about his work and Liz about her work, I want to do a little promo. This weekend is the Hyena Horror Market. This happens a few times a year, and it is a fantastic, fun, free event. Lots of cool artists, lots of cool people from the horror community, and it's in North Hollywood. Lots of parking. Come on out. I hope to see you there from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm going to have a bunch of stuff, art, masks, music stuff, movie stuff, all kinds of stuff. So I hope you can make it out. And to that end, every time I do these conventions, I always bring a ton of prints, but then I bring original pieces. But my original pieces, let's face it, are kind of cost prohibitive for a lot of people. I understand that. So this time I am bringing some smaller pieces as well, to try to make it a little more accessible for other people who want to pick up my work. And today on the live stream, we are going to work on some very small pieces. In fact, take a look what we got here. I got 6 3x3 canvases, and the cool thing about these ones is they're also magnetic. So, don't have room on your walls for original art, but you have a refrigerator. Well, I got you covered. Also, you'll see these are the little, these started out as a digital sculpture in Blender, and then I 3D printed them. These are just little creature from, I'll show here, from Monster Squad busts, little magnets I did. So I had a bunch of this cool kind of pearlescent green paint, and I thought that would be a pretty fun background color for these little minis that I'm about to paint. So I'm not going to keep these up here while I work because I don't want to get paint on them, but I just wanted to show them off. So I'm going to have a bunch of those at the convention. And then, of course, I've got the the bigger brother right here. I believe I've got 2 of these ready to go that I'll be bringing with me. The larger creature, and then bringing some more of the Tarman sculpt and a ton of stuff. I'm not going to go through everything I'm bringing, but that's what we're going to be working on today. Let me check in with the chat. Let's see. Ojisan Obscura says mixed media mess. I usually start acrylic, go watercolor, and then water mixable oils. Very cool. Well, you get really cool techniques there. Love what you're doing. Yeah, very cool. Ojisan also says inspired by Beksinski, Giger, and Corbin. I can see the inspiration in the work, but it's not derivative of it. It's just inspired by very, very cool stuff. I love it. Yeah, so now let's do some tiny canvases. Let's see, Liz says use tiny brushes and a tiny palette like Tiny Kitchen. Nice. Okay, let me show you real quick though. I did frame up a few pieces from the last show, or the last few streams. I just want to show you. Frame this dude up, so he's coming with me to the convention, as well as the squirrel got framed up, and of course the pig, and the pig gets the deluxe frame here. So yeah, always fun to see a piece all framed up. So those 3 are coming with me, and then of course I'll be bringing a few larger pieces as well. I haven't decided on which ones of those I'm going to bring, but anyway, on to these small little canvases. So the idea is, and as you know, this is just my initial thoughts, and these might turn into whatever the hell, but I'm thinking I really like this kind of pearlescent green, so I'll probably do like a simple subject matter in the center and let the green show through in the background. And of course I have extra of that green if I color outside of the lines. So I figured I would start with a pencil this time. Let's do something original. Let's just draw up a design, and we're going to see how many we can get through. Hopefully I can get through all 6 today. So this green paint right here is an acrylic, but we are going to be painting with oil today, and I think just by the tiny size of this and the nature of what these pieces are going to be, I don't think I'm going to do an underpainting on any of these. I think I'm just going to go for it, and we're just going to start with bold color choices right off the top. So that being said, yeah, let's draw something here. Okay. I don't know. I don't even know if you will be able to see my pencil marks. I'll tell you what. I'm just sketching this in pencil. You probably can just barely see that on the camera. So what I'll probably do after I do this pencil sketch is I'll just take like a white paint marker or something and give it a quick trace, just so you guys can see a little better. Also, it'll help me see a little better too. So I'm just starting with kind of like an anatomical heart here, just a human heart, which I, may have drawn about 100 times in my artistic career. That's a good central image, and let's make it someone holding this heart, I think. And then let's give it a big old eyeball right in the center. Yeah, okay, yeah, you absolutely can't see that on camera at all, or not very well. So I'm just going to take, this is an oil paint marker right here. So I'm just going to trace my rudimentary sketch here. I gotta kind of, this paint is so glossy, I kind of got to look at it from an angle just to see, be able to see my own pencil lines. Let's see. think I got the appropriate amount of valves in here, but I'm sure someone will correct me if I failed. I messed that hand up, but that's all right. We can fix that. So that's the basic idea there to start with. Let's, we're just going to knock these out one after another. And I've got, I'm just using this little 5x7 canvas as my palette this time. And I thought what I would do is I'm going to use the same palette for everything. That doesn't mean each painting is going to have the same colors in it, but I'm going to have them all on the same palette, and then when we're done with these paintings, it's going to be a unique kind of design of its own, and we're going to see if maybe we can convert that into a frameable piece of art as well, if it's worth salvaging. So let's pick some colors here. I think obvious choice with a heart is alizarin crimson. I need to get a pair of pliers. One moment. Sometimes these paint tubes do not want to open easily. Okay. And we're back. Okay, so I got some alizarin crimson. I got some cadmium red. And I'm going to throw in some yellow ochre probably, and then just to make it pop, maybe we'll make the eyeball green, you know, just to give it a nice complementary color to the heart. I gotta find all my fancy colors. What do we got here? We're going with, let's see. We're going to go with phthalo green yellow, which is just a little darker than the regular old phthalo green. And to my eye, does not look more yellow than the regular phthalo green. But what do I know? I am not the one naming paint colors. And get some yellow ochre going. And what else are we gonna need? What else are we gonna need? I'm gonna squeeze out a little bit of titanium white. And a little bit of ivory black. One of these days, if I want to get fancy, I'll add a third camera that's actually early. Thank you for joining. Oh, you know what? This reminds me too. I forgot to say thank you to my lovely patrons on Patreon, the people that make all of this happen. So let me do that real quick, and then I'm going to start painting. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Tango 14. Thank you, Travis, Anthony, Rachel, Derek, Stephen, Violet, Jill, Charlie, Misty, Donna, Necrotechnicon, Stormy Dragon, Sarah, Brian, and Susie, our newest patron. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You guys are all awesome, And if you want to follow me over on Patreon, you can find all the links to that and to my channel over on clintcarney.com. There's also a free tier if you just want to get updated anytime I'm doing an event, either online or in person. So there you go. Let's just start painting. Again, I am not going to do underpaintings on these guys. I'm just going to go right in with paint and make some bold choices. And we'll see how that works out for me. The idea, or my hope, my naive hope, is that all right, sorry, just temporary brain fart as I just wiped a rag full of paint, wet paint all over my hands. Anyway, my naive hope is that I will actually get all of these paintings done and completed in single sessions. So I want to be able to end this live stream with 6 little mini paintings that are complete. So I'm going to work, from the top down, left to right, so that I don't smear my hand on the paintings. And we'll see how. This is a good exercise. See how fast I can paint. Let's see. Jennifer says my sound went out. Back now. Oh yeah, I think as I was switching between the Patreon page, I went over to the starting screen where the mic is muted. So as long as it's back now, then we're in business. I have painted a lot of hearts before, but I'm trying to think of when the last time that I actually did it was. It's probably been a while. I've drawn hearts more recently than I've painted them, but in any case, we are painting a heart again right now. Ojason Obscura says, I'm doing a 3D painting with a tiny canvas and Sculpey clay. I'll post it. Your stream is very inspiring. Oh, excellent. I can't wait to see that. That sounds great. How about everyone else? What's everyone else working on? Anyone have any new and exciting pieces in the works? Also, in true form, I have not premeditated these little paintings, so if anyone has any suggestions, feel free to chime in. Only I'll preface that with saying don't be offended if I just paint whatever the hell I want anyway. But if you have any thoughts as to what you'd like to see me paint, I will weigh those against my ability to paint those specific things from from memory. Let's see. Jennifer says, I am decorating a cake, if that counts. Yes, it certainly does. Cakes can be art as well. My sister is actually an amazing cake artist. She does really awesome stuff. She made my wedding cake, and just does these really cool sculptural cake pieces. Very talented she is. And Liz agrees that cake is art. Looking forward to the convention this weekend. Going to be a bunch of cool people there. The lineup's quite different from previous years too. There's a bunch of people that were never at this convention before, which I'm excited about. Naomi Grossman is going to be there. I don't know if you guys might know her from, she played Pepper in American Horror Story, whatever the freak show season was, season 3 maybe. But I worked with her on a show called Wizard School Dropout back in 2019, and she was delightful. So I'm looking forward to seeing her again. I haven't seen her since that show. Let's see who else is going to be there. My buddy Skip Crank, amazing prop artist and artist in general. He's going to be there. Kat Philbin, another, a ton of my awesome friends. So right, but yeah, Kat Philbin's going to be there. Chris Sapp, David Van Gogh, Jasmine Worth. I'm gonna have to stop naming people because I'm inevitably gonna leave names out, and I don't want to, do that. Oh, Pete Von Schally. I've talked about him on the show before. Amazing storyboard artist. He's gonna be there. Yeah. Anyway, as you can tell, I am excited for the convention, and I hope some of you guys can make it out. Is anyone who is watching today planning on attending the convention? Let me know. And again, if you missed the top of the episode, all of the details are on clintcarney.com. If you're planning on going, it's a free event. So, okay, I mean, this it's coming along. The heart is coming along. I can tell already that I screwed up my hand illustration, but that's okay. We will endeavor to correct that with paint. And again, on this painting, I'm using alizarin crimson, cadmium red, phthalo green yellow for the eye. I haven't gotten into that yet. And yellow ochre for like the fatty tissue around the heart, and then ivory black and what do you call it, titanium white. So for those of you just dying to know what colors you are seeing hit the canvas before your eyes, no one. Okay. Oh, Jennifer will be at the convention. Excellent. Yay. I think you've made it to all of them, or almost all of them thus far, which is awesome. Always good to see you. Looking forward to seeing you again. Ojason Obscure says, I just went to the Evansville Horror Convention in Indiana. We sold a bunch of our Blu-rays, and every celeb got one and a business card. Oh, awesome. Nice. Remind me again, Ojason, um, what is the name of your movie that you're selling the Blu-rays for and stuff, and where can people find it so they can check out your work? And how are you guys feeling about watching this kind of a process where I don't do the underpainting, where I just go in and make some bold color choices early on in the process? Do you prefer that? Do you prefer watching the underpainting style? Do you care at all? Ojisan's movie's called The Anointed, and it's on Fossum. I am not familiar with that platform. I'm going to have to look into that. And you play the bad guy. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Those are the funnest roles to play. And often the most fun to watch as well. And Charlie asked, wasn't Robert Englund at that one? I assume you're talking about the Evansville one. Because he was not at the horror market. But do love me some Robert Englund. And Ojasan says, I dig it when you just go in. I'm not much of an underpainter. Liz says, congrats on selling the other Blu-rays. I'm near North Indiana by Chicago. Ojasan says, he hung out with Nick Castle and the Terrifier crew. Excellent. I'm also going to, because I'm painting small here, I'm going to squeeze out just a bit of this liquid fine detail, and this is just for like little cleaner line work. And because this is like super liquidy, I'm just going to put it in a little measuring cup here, so it doesn't just all get lost spreading around my canvas. I'm just going to add some vein work into this heart, and then I'm going to do the eyeball, and then we are going to do work on that hand. See if I can't salvage it. And if I can't, it can always be painted over. fact, I'm going to get just a little thinner of a brush for these veins. I mean, my little work table here is a mess. Just piles of paint and brushes. Yeah, I'm going to go with this like a real thin liner here. And then I'm going to thin down some titanium white and just put some little specular highlights on some of these veins and other randomly selected pieces of the heart just to make it look nice and wet. Nice and gooey and gross. Liz says, heart is looking great. They were easy for me to draw. Oh, thank you, Liz. Yeah, they're fun. They are fun to draw, aren't they? Now we're just going to do this eye. You know what I might do on the eye is actually let some of this kind of pearlescent green from the background come through a bit. Not all of it, but just a little bit, just to tie it in with the background. I think that could be neat. And mixing up a little of the phthalo green yellow on my palette with some titanium white. Which is actually incredibly close to that background color anyway. And then just throw a touch of black into that for the outside ring of the iris here. Just to darken it up a bit. And the light is coming in from the top, so I'm going to do an even lighter patch of this green that just goes along the bottom right here. It's a little too light. And then let's get our pupil going on here. And let's add a bold white specular highlight right on top. For the record, I absolutely hate painting small. But sometimes you got to do it. All right, and I'm gonna, for the hand here, I'm just gonna put a little bit of this transparent oxide red on my palette. Count von Backelwolfing, hello, thank you for joining. And they comment, I love your hat. Oh, thank you. Can't go wrong with Creepshow. Such a great film. Okay, let's see. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, the more I look at it, the more I hate the idea of having a hand in there. So we are going to get rid of that hand idea, and I'm just going to do some cool drips of blood underneath instead, which will look way cooler. And then I'll just use that same background green color to erase the hand after I do this. So that is one way to get around the fact that I did a super bad rough illustration of the hand. Besides, we got 5 other paintings to do tonight, so we can't spend a crazy amount of time on trying to fix a bad hand illustration. All right, I'm gonna grab a thing of this green paint I have over here behind the camera. And this green paint, again, this background green is just acrylic, so I also have a thing of water here for thinning it out. And just erasing right over that hand. And in fact, I'm going to go around the whole heart here and just kind of correct the outline of it. Fix any little mistakes that I made. And I might end up having to, once this layer of the green dries, I might end up having to come back in and hit it with another layer if any of that white outline ends up showing through. We'll see. We'll give it a chance to dry first. Actually, I'm going to come out just a little bit on the side here with the red on this heart, just to correct my illustration a bit. Okay, there we go. I think that's one down, 5 to go. What do you guys think? How you feeling about the heart? Let me, since it's a magnet, I can just take it off. I'm going to show it to you on this other camera here so you can get a feel for it. I'll try to angle it so it's not glaring. Now there's no way to really see it without the glare, but yeah, it's so far looking pretty cool. Okay, painting number 2. Michael Garcia has joined. What's up, Michael? Thanks for joining. Ojason says that heart is popping off on that green. Thank you. All right, let's see. Let's do skull. All right, skulls are good. Same as before. Just gonna rough it out in pencil, and then I'll just trace it with a white marker, just so you guys can can see it, since it's pretty hard to read the pencil. How fast can I draw a skull? Pretty fucking fast. Pardon my French. How many skulls have I drawn in my lifetime? Countless skulls. Okay, good enough to start with. Let's grab the old paint marker here, and I'm just gonna make some choices about my lines here from my sketch. Okay, that's a basic outline of a skull. Did anyone time me? Was that more than 1 minute? If so, I'm getting rusty. And back to tiny brushes again. Let's see, with this skull, I think I can get away with just using transparent oxide red, what do you call it? Why am I blanking? Words are hard. Yellow ochre, and then some black and white, I think. I think that's it. I think that's all we need. For anyone joining the live stream a little late, you're watching Art Autopsy. It's a bi-weekly live art stream that I host. My name is Clint Carney. I'm a professional artist working in the film and television industry, and every 2 weeks I get on YouTube to do some live painting for your entertainment and enjoyment. Anybody watching at home, I highly encourage you to make some art right along with me. If you make anything you're proud of and you want to show off to my audience, email it to me at clintcarneycreates@gmail.com, and I will share it on an upcoming live stream. And also, for the sake of those just joining, this Saturday I'm going to be doing a live event. I'll be at the Hyena Horror Market held at the Mayflower Club in North Hollywood, California. I'll be slinging art and prints and music stuff for my band and masks that I make and all kinds of stuff. So if you're in the area, come on out. It's always a good time at the Hyena Horror Market. Okay, so I started out just in the dark areas with the transparent oxide red. Now I'm coming in with yellow ochre. I'm just going thick here on all of this stuff. And then now, once I dip into some titanium white, I can kind of mix that in right with the colors I've already laid down. Just just work that into a little gradient. And you know, when you're doing that, when you're mixing on the canvas, if it gets to a point where you're just starting to make mud with your colors, they're mixing together, just give your brush a wipe, and it's as easy as that. Then you can go back to it and start blending them together. Let's see, Oja-san says, getting ready to bake the Sculpey. Right on. Yeah, I love working in Sculpey. I haven't sculpted in that in quite a while. I've been just mostly doing larger sculptures lately, so that's been, you know, wed clay or monster clay primarily, but on the small stuff, I love working in Sculpey. And it has got super hot here in California in the last couple days. It was like I had the heater running up until 2 days ago, and now it is, I think today was 98 degrees where I live. So not as hot as it's going to get this year, but certainly a good start. Fortunately, last year I installed a air conditioner in my garage, which is where I paint. So that is doing its job right now. Oja-san says, I like Monster Clay, but dang, it's expensive. You're right, it is expensive, but the good thing about Monster Clay, it's a wax-based clay, and you can reuse it. So Sculpey is one and done, right, because you bake it and then you're done. But Monster Clay, you make your sculpture, you mold it, and then you can just reuse the clay. So you really don't have to keep buying it over and over again like you do with other kinds of clay. So that's the saving grace on its price point. Liz and Michael are having snow. I'm out here baking in the heat, and you guys are freezing in the snow. I will be honest, I'll take the heat over the snow any day, which is why I live here. So sorry you guys got to deal with the crazy snow. So Jennifer, since you said you're going to the convention on Saturday, is there any special guests that you're looking forward to seeing this time? Let me know. I'm going to have to correct some of the drawing on the outline of this skull, just reshape it with the green in the same way that we reshaped the heart with the background color after we were done. So no big deal. I'm just letting you know that I know that it has to be done. Oja-san says, I need to learn to mold. I've never done it. Yeah, you should. It's a good skill to have, especially, you know, if you're doing a lot of creative sculpting and stuff. It's, if you can mold it, then you can sell copies of your work and not just have only one original. Because the thing about only having one copy and not molding it, once you sell it, you can never make another one that's exactly like it, or if it ever breaks, you're out of luck. But if you have a mold and it breaks, you can always stamp out more. Let's see. Charlie says, I think I read Callie was hitting 3 digits. Yeah, soon enough. It always gets in the hundreds eventually. Sarah says, come down here and you can bake in the afternoon, have a tornado in the evening, and it'll be snowing the next morning. Yeah, I think I'll pass on the tornadoes, if you don't mind. And Michael says his favorite thing to work with when it comes to prop making is foam clay. And Jennifer says, most curious to see what Wednesday 13 will bring out. Oh, I didn't realize that Wednesday 13 was going to be there again. Very cool. Where did that come from? Just randomly had a stroke of black there in the wrong spot. And I'm going to, we're going to say, let's make its front teeth missing. So I'm just going to fill in a few in the back here on each side. And we'll leave its front chompers up top gone. Just to give them a little bit of personality. Because this skull has personality. So I've been spending a lot of my time lately, well, this week it's been prepping for this convention, 3D printing magnets, painting those, working on all sorts of stuff for the convention. But when I'm not doing that, I'm working on a couple movies right now, just on the visual effects side of things. And then also I am developing a video game, a Halloween themed video game. I mentioned it in the last stream, so this is just for the benefit of the people that weren't there last time. And then if you're on my Patreon, I go in depth and share the screenshots and the work in progress with that. So those of you that are following me on Patreon, you'll get another update tomorrow on that and all kinds of stuff. But man, I gotta tell you, I am having a lot of fun working on this game, and I can't wait to get it out there and start getting some feedback from people. So for those of you who are following on Patreon, you guys are going to have early beta access to it before the public at large gets it. So just as a one small way of saying thank you for your support. And if you're not on my Patreon, it is not too late. Yeah, this skull is coming along. He's shaping up. Really digging just this solid green background. It's working out pretty nicely. as you see, I got a little bit of paint inside the mouth, which we will correct, as well as fixing the outline of the skull in general. Let me get in there with the green and touch it up, but yeah, feeling pretty good about that. Let's clean up our green background here. Tighten up the outline. This green paint should dry pretty uniform, so right now you might see that the new brush strokes I'm doing look a little darker than the rest of the background, but once it dries it should all blend in quite nicely, if all goes well. Okay, let me show you guys this one up close. So again, trying to fighting this glare. Yeah, it's a fun little skull. And you know, once we get through all 6 of these, then I'll reassess if any of the other ones are going to need some additional love. But for now, I think that's good enough to move on. Now to painting number 3. Liz says, you're the fastest skull painter in the West. I try. See, Michael says, your skull reminds me of Revenant from Soul Calibur. Nice. Liz says, paint a ghost next? Possibly. Let's see. Ghost is definitely a possibility, but I have an idea. Let's do an eyeball spider. How's that? So we'll keep. I'm keeping Ghost on the back burner for potential, but I'm gonna draw an eyeball with spider legs, because why not? This will be kind of reminiscent of Mr. Ball Legs for any of you that watched Santa Clarita Diet. That's a little spider-like character that I actually designed and sculpted for that show. And coincidentally, I actually also live in Santa Clarita. Though I was not living in there when I was working on the show. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be cool. Let's try it. These are all quickies, so. Yeah. Oh well, good enough. All right. Yeah, I think that'll be fun. And you know what? Just for fun, for no fucking reason whatsoever. Pardon my French again. I keep forgetting that sometimes kids watch me paint and they have a potty mouth. We're giving him a little halo because he is a saintly eyeball spider. Let's see, Michael suggests, how about a Medusa head? That could be a cool possibility as well. All right, let's paint this eyeball. So, what are we going to do on this eyeball? You know, I want to do, I'm going to take a little bit of my phthalo green yellow and mix that with my titanium white and get kind of like a mint green color, so that it can almost feel like the white of this eye. And, well, next to the background green, it just looks like I'm painting white, but I promise you this is a mint green. Maybe I need to add more green just so we can see it in there. I just want a bit of this green bounce on part of the eyeball here. And then take a little bit of alizarin crimson, and then I'm just going to take titanium white here and just blend it in there. And then those two colors are going to meet, and then we'll do some super whiter parts on the eye as well to give it some dimension. Charlie says, I've been talking with Patreon customer service because all posts have been showing up blank for over a week. Patreon blames my ISP. ISP blames Patreon. Oh, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. That's frustrating. You can also get the app on your phone too, I believe, if you are having trouble just accessing it through a browser. I use the app, and then I get alerts when you know, the artists that I support on there do updates and stuff like that. So. As well as getting alerts when one of my patrons sends me a message. Which I try to be diligent about replying in a quasi-prompt fashion. Also, while on the topic of Patreon, if I may belabor the point, if you're following me there, you get a discount on anything from my web stores, but also from original art purchases or prints or anything like that too. So it's actually a good way to save a substantial amount of money if you're were thinking about buying a piece. Okay, we got an eyeball. We've got an eyeball. We are in business. Now we need some spider legs and a halo. Jennifer says, I support more than one artist, but you were the first. Oh, thank you very much. Very touched. Thank you. Whenever one of the other artists posts, I get an email from Clint Carney. You get an email from me when one of the other artists posts? Am I misreading that? And curious, who else are you? Who else is on Patreon, Jennifer, that you like? Whose work is up there that you think is cool and worth checking out? Oh, Charlie says, I'm happy. Found a Reddit post of other people experiencing it. Yeah, it's always good to know that it's not just you, right? When when an issue like that comes up. Okay. I'm going to end up having to touch up some of these, my rough outline on these spider legs, but that is okay. This is just iron oxide red right here. I'm just putting in the basic shape of the legs, and then I'm going to go in with some other colors and blend right on top of this color. Going for like a tarantula leg type style. Because who doesn't love a good tarantula leg? I used to have a tarantula when I was younger. It escaped from its cage and searched for it forever, and then eventually found it dead under my parents' bed. It's very sad. But they make cool pets if you like spiders, and I do. Ojasan says, I'm digging Saint Spider. Thank you. Okay, let's see. So for the halo, let's do cadmium yellow, deep hue. I'm going to do that. And then some titanium white, and I think we'll call it a day on that halo. And then I'll have to go back and clean up some of the background green, and we'll be on the next painting before you know it. Charlie says, I never met a male tarantula, only female. I don't have any clue how to tell the difference between a male and female tarantula, so I couldn't tell you. Never bothered to learn that one. Enlighten me, if anyone knows. Charlie, you know. How does one tell the difference between a male and female tarantula? There we go. Isn't that just a lovely eyeball spider? He's a cute one. Let me clean up the background and then I'll give you guys a better view of him. We just kind of went off the rails on the legs here. Just gotta clean those up. Oh, and of course, when I'm all done with these, I gotta go through and sign them all. Can't forget to do that. Okay, that is 3 paintings down. Let's take a look at this eyeball spider. He's a fun little guy. Man, this reflective paint is really hard to look good on camera, but it looks way cooler in person than it does through the screen there. Okay, cool. You know what I kind of want to do next is, you guys have, well, for those of you who've been watching me for a while, you've seen me paint this a number of times, but it's always fun. Why don't we do a plastic pumpkin bucket, right? You can't go wrong with plastic pumpkin bucket. Let's do that. Let's see, I'm going to throw down some cadmium orange. And then I'm going to have to dig around, and I want some cadmium red light hue. Oh, and here it is, right in front of my face the whole time. Okay, and I think we already have the rest of the colors already squeezed out that we need for that. So let's draw a quick pumpkin bucket, shall we? Let's see, I want to give enough room for the handle up top. Let's see, I know I have a pumpkin bucket somewhere around here in this room. No, I do not. How do I not have a pumpkin bucket visible? I guess they're all inside. Well, whatever. If we can't remember what a pumpkin bucket looks like, we're in trouble. again, I will once again trace it with the white paint pen so you guys can see what the hell my sketch looks like, because it is virtually impossible to see these pencil marks through the camera. Let's see. Michael said, let's see. Oh, wait. I got to back up here. I'm missing some chat here. Oh, just says, I think the males have halos and the females have horns. Art. Charlie says, I don't know. The owners always told me. Michael says, well, the female spiders are bigger than the male spiders. And Charlie says, hobbyists prefer females because of their longer lifespan. Guess that's more common in pets for that, maybe. Aha. Well, I gotta say, my tarantula that I had when I was a kid was caught in the wild. Because I used to live in the desert. And that's what you do, is play with critters. So I have no idea if it was a male or a female. But it was quite friendly. At least it never bit me, which is about all I can ask of a spider. Okay, we have a pumpkin bucket. That took even less time to draw than the skull, right? We're speeding up. Okay, actually, I'm going to take a quick break, guys. I'll be back. Give me 5 minutes, and I shall return. And I'm back now with a pumpkin bucket. I can just use him as color reference. I'm just going to stick him over there so I can view him. That pumpkin bucket has a different face than the one I drew, but that's okay. Pumpkin buckets come in all sorts of face designs. So, where did I put the brush that I was just using? It has disappeared into the ether. Well, I'm gonna have to select another brush, I guess. Fortunately, I have no shortage of brush options. Let's just grab the pile from my desk here and see. Aha, that'll work. All right. Start off with the cadmium red light hue for the inside of our bucket and also for the shadow at the bottom of the bucket. And this one should pop really nice with that green background. How are you guys feeling about these mini paintings so far? Do you have a favorite? Has a favorite emerged? Let me know. Also, how do you guys feel about this kind of a live stream episode where it's just working on a ton of little tiny pieces as opposed to the normal show where I'm working on a single big piece? I'm having fun with it. It's a nice change up. So even though the plastic of the bucket itself is just a solid orange, when you're painting this kind of thing, you got to look at how the light wraps around the different shapes and kind of make your assessment as to what colors you're going to use based on that. Because if I just painted it all solid orange, it's not going to have much dimension to it, right? So on this one, I'm using a bit of cadmium orange, bit of cadmium yellow, bit of titanium white, and a bit of cadmium red light hue. That will hopefully, if I make good choices, hopefully it'll end up feeling like a real plastic bucket with some dimension. And it certainly helps to have a bucket off camera there for me to take a look at, because it's not only about getting the shape of the bucket, it's also about trying to get a believable plastic feel to it. So we'll end up going in with some highlights at the end. Charlie says, I always liked the McDonald's buckets. They had lids. That is true. That was a handy feature. I've always been a sucker for the traditional lidless bucket myself, though. Just for nostalgia's sake, I think. That's just what I liked as a kid. Of course, then when I got really smart, I started trick-or-treating with pillowcases because you could fit way more candy in it. But aesthetically, these kind of pumpkin buckets always appeal to me. Michael says, I like the skull. Thank you. Charlie says, I like when you change things up. I wasn't expecting the magnets. Right on. Thank you. I'm having fun with it. I'm going to work in a little bit of the phthalo green that I have on my palette just to add some additional shadows and shapes in here. Because these pumpkins have little ridges to them. I want to make sure we represent those appropriately. And then, of course, we've got to get our highlights in. And we've got to add the black paint for the nose and eyes and mouth. Oh, I also recently did an interview on the Void Signal podcast for any of you that listen to industrial music, and you might be familiar with that one. So that should be coming out sometime, I don't know, any minute now. If anyone is interested in listening to a long form interview with yours truly. I think that's my 4th or 5th time on that podcast. And so not only are these facial features on the pumpkin black, but they're also plastic, it's the black plastic, so it's not going to be solid black. That's got to catch the light as well. So I'm just getting the black in there first to start with, and then I'm going to add little bits of highlight to kind of hopefully sell that we're dealing with the plastic material there. Of course, when we're all done with the pumpkin, we just got to give it a handle, just a black plastic handle across the top. Just little highlight details that's in the black here, just subtle. And there we have a plastic pumpkin bucket. Let's give it just a few bolder highlights. There we go. Now let's just touch up a little bit of that background with our green. And we are off to the races. One other painting down. Now hopefully these are dry enough for me to take them to the convention. Well, they will be, but hopefully they're dry enough for people to take them home at the convention. I think they will be. I'm mixing liquid in from periodically, and that should help accelerate that dry time. I'm going to give it a little bit of a something underneath the pumpkin here. Just a little bit of an orange bounce on the green, I think. There we go. I found my other brush I was missing. I had it dipped in my water down there the whole time. Tragedy averted. All brushes recovered. Michael says, did you know back in the 1600s people trick-or-treated on Christmas? I did not know that. That sounds awesome. More trick-or-treating, the better. Did they also get to dress up as monsters, though? Or did they have to dress up exclusively as Santa Claus? Plus, it was not called Christmas. It was called winter solstice. Yes. Charlie asked, do you put a clear sealant on top? Yes, I will. So normally with like an oil painting, I would do like a varnish over the top of that. But the varnish takes days to dry. So on these, I'm going to go for a sealant that dries pretty quickly. I'm going to use like a clear gloss acrylic spray. So that will happen eventually. But yeah, let me show you guys the pumpkin here. Yeah, he's a fun little dude. There we go. 2 more to go. 2 more to go. All right, let's see. Someone suggested a ghost. I think it was Liz. Liz, was that you who suggested a ghost earlier? Let's do a ghost, shall we? But what kind of ghost? What kind of ghost shall we do? Just a sheet ghost, or should we do something a little scarier? Also, because we're dealing with such a small canvas, let me think about this. I'm trying to think if it would be more interesting just to have like the head of the ghost pop in here, or to do a head-to-toe ghost. A head-to-toe ghost would fit more aesthetically with the rest of these, but that doesn't necessarily matter that much to me, I guess. I'll tell you what, we're going to do just kind of like the head of a ghost, and then maybe we'll see some facial features popping out from underneath. Let's see, we're going to start it. Also, I didn't say this at the beginning, but I'll say it now. It's entirely possible that I end up not liking one or more or all of the paintings when I'm done, and that's okay. You know, sometimes if you're doing they can't all be winners, and if you end up painting something that you don't like, you certainly don't have to show anyone. Well, I do in this case because you guys are watching me. No pressure, but if any of these paintings I don't think are up to snuff with what I would want to represent my name as an artist, I just won't bring them to the convention. You don't have to sell absolutely everything you do or even make it available. I often don't show lots of my work to people. Of course, doing the live stream, that has ruined that for me, so now I end up having to show off at least everything that I'm doing during the stream. Okay, well this is going to be like a 2-second ghost. So let's see what we can do to make them a little more interesting. Maybe we want to see some facial features inside the eye holes so that we can see there is a living, breathing something or other beneath the sheet. Otherwise, I would just say it's done. Which I don't want to do. So let's see if we can hint at there being someone here underneath it. Note with the sheet ghost, you don't really have to do a sketch of that, right? It's very simple. Well, I mean, there's our ghost, but let's keep working him a bit. Let's give him a little more love to the cloth. We want it to look believably like there's real cloth flowing over the figure here. And you know what? I'm just going to give him like just really tiny dots of cadmium red in the pupils, just to make him look a little spooky. Nope, now that black is too wet for the pupils to take that red very well, so it's going to be very subtle. And I don't know how I'm feeling about this little critter. It's not super interesting to me yet. Maybe let's give this ghost a halo as well, right? Why not? Why not? He'll be a holy ghost. Now this spider doesn't have to be the only saint. And then why not give him a little bit of blood splatter? You know what I mean? Why not? Why not? There we go. Let me touch up a little bit of the green background, and we'll call that one a day. That was a simple quickie. Not sure how I feel about it yet, but It exists. So, oops, I'm getting paint on my laptop here. So there he is, little blood spattered Holy Ghost. Okay, and one left to go. Anyone want to throw out some suggestions? Oh, I missed all the thread here. Charlie suggested 2 tiny ghosts. I already messed that one up. Sorry. Ojisan says, I think I dig the ghost the most. Thank you, thank you. All right, any other suggestions for that? We got one painting left. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Bat or black cat? From Schwein. Hello, Schwein. Thank you for joining the chat. Those are good suggestions. Anyone else? Taking suggestions, then we're gonna figure out once we get a few which one we want to go with. I like bats and black cats. Those are always good. Serena Roman Luna Nocturna says mutated bat. The Undead of Night says zombie hand from the grave like Carrie. Also good suggestions. Oh, just sound obscure says a brain. Also a good suggestion. How about a devil from Michael Garcia? Also a good suggestion. Oh, these are good. Okay, so we got, thus far, suggestions are a bat, a black cat, a mutated bat, a zombie hand from the grave, a brain, and a devil. Those are all pretty good suggestions. Fairly confident. I'm going to work on this halo a little bit as I talk to myself here. Fairly confident I could paint any of those from memory. So, what do I want to paint? Charlie says a clown. Schwein says mutated devil bat brain. Oh, I kind of love that. Let's do a mutated devil bat brain then. That sounds good. Thanks, Schwein. Thanks everyone for the feedback. This is hopefully this covers a lot of your suggestions all in one. We got a mutated bat, a brain, a devil, all together. So yeah, let's do that. I'm not gonna sketch it either. I'm just gonna go for it because fuck it. Well, I am gonna sketch it. I'll just be sketching it in paint, starting with the brain. We will do the wings next after I finish this brain. And now we play a game called How Fast Can You Paint a Brain? Pretty fast. Okay, there's a brain-ish as a start. Da 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 da. Okay, now let's think. Where would these wings want to come out of? Probably the side. Come up through. Oops. I'm just going to thin down some black here and sketch these wings in. Okay, and how would we want to see these on the other side? And I'm just throwing in some transparent oxide red here. And I'm going to go in with some titanium white and just mix all that together right on the old canvas. The challenge, again, I mentioned earlier, but I'm not a big fan of painting small. So the challenge is selling all of these ideas on the canvas without having a lot of room to do detail, you know, and especially something like this is so specific and, you know, a brain bat vampire or brain bat devil that can I do it in a way where the casual viewer will look at it and know that it is a combination of a brain, a bat, and a devil. We're going to find out, all of us together. The brain, I think, automatically, just looking at it right now, that brain's got to be more pink. It's a little too red to say brain, although it is a devil brain, and devils are red, or they can be. So we'll see. We'll see. I may be putting too much thought into that. All right, but in any case, we do need a little more pink on the top of the brain up here. On that lobe, there we go. Okay, now the challenge is how do we give it devil horns? You know, we might have to not do the horns because I'm a little concerned that it's gonna get lost in translation there. If we add horns in, we may be losing the thing that tells us it's a brain. You know what I mean? There's already a lot growing out of it. We might just have to do a brain bat and then give it like a gnarly brain stem underneath. Yeah, let's do that. Sorry, we're making a modification. We're just going with a flying bat brain. I hope you'll forgive the alteration of the concept. But I think it'll be better off for it. And just some little nerves coming off of the stem here. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. Necrotecticon says the brain needs more eyeballs. That's true. It's funny you say that because I was just thinking, ooh, I bet I can sneak an eyeball into this brain. But you know what? Instead of like the eyeball growing out of the brain, why don't we just do like the optic nerve coming down and like the eyeballs detached right there? Let's see. Schwein says, give this man a like if you haven't already. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. I will take the like. Anyone who wants to like the video, I will take it. Thank you. Okay. Sarah says maybe a spiky devil tail. So that could be. That's a great suggestion. We could bring the tail in. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. Then we don't lose the devil. And we'll give him this. There we go. Nice little devil tail there. Let's give that some highlights so it has a little bit of dimension to it. Okay, now let's add some eyeballs connected by nerve ganglia right below here, right about where one's eyeballs would be. This is turning into a fun little piece. And taking a little bit of this alizarin crimson, working it around the back of the eyeball here. Let's give it a little shape. And I'm going to take our phthalo green yellow, mix it with a touch of the titanium white, and that is going to be our iris color. Since we've had green eyes on all of these other ones, might as well keep the trend alive. And then we'll just get a little bit of black and just add pupils very carefully. Great. Now we just need the nerve ganglia connecting to the brain, and we have a mutant brain devil bat. All right, well, thank you all for the assist on this, all your feedback. Thank you, Schwein, for the combining them all into a cohesive character description. And there we go. All right, he's a fun little guy. I got a little too thick on this one here. I'm just Just put a little bit of odorless terpenoid on my brush, and I'm just going to using it to correct where I put that paint. Okay, fix the stem here, get that a little thinner. There we go. All right, now I'm going to, where did I put paint everywhere, and I can't find it. Okay, got my cup of green paint here. I'm just going to touch up some of this background where it was just a little uneven before. Super fun. And then just for those who are just joining, again, for any of you that are in the Los Angeles area, I am going to be at the Hyena Horror Market this Saturday. It's at the Mayflower Club in North Hollywood. And all of these little pieces, these little magnets that I just painted during the live stream, I'm going to have them there for sale because they're super tiny. They will be pretty affordable. So if anyone's been wanting to pick up a piece of my art but have been scared off by my exorbitant price tags in the past, these will be ones that are going to be pretty affordable. So now we just have to sign these beasts, and they'll be done. So I'm going to switch over to a very tiny brush. I'm just going to add my initials, hopefully very subtly, into the corner of each of these pieces. And then we'll be done. 6 little paintings in one live stream session. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Now let's see if I can sign them without screwing them up. And then before you go, don't forget we were using another little palette or little canvas as a palette for this whole thing. So I just want to show you guys what that looks like, and maybe I can somehow turn that into its own little piece of art. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, good enough on those signatures. Let me show you this latest one up close. That is a fun little creature. I dig it. Okay, and now I'm going to, let me just move these magnets aside, get them out of the way a bit. And now this, I'm just taping on here because it is not a magnet. That is the palette on this little canvas board that we were working with. So I'm going to, just as a fun experiment, recognizing that this might not work out at all, I'm going to just see if I can turn this into its own little painting real quick. Let's see. Oh, Michael is going to bed. Hey, good night. Thank you, Michael. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Charlie says, I think he should put more smaller, more affordable things like this on his online shop in the future. Oh, thank you. I should probably do that. Serena Roman Luna Nocturna says, I wish I could go. I would buy 3 on the right plus the creature from Monster Squad. Oh, thank you. Anything that doesn't sell will eventually go on my website, though, clintcarney.com. Although also, to be fair, I have to give first crack at everything to my patrons on Patreon. But just kind of blending these together. I don't know what this is going to be, if anything, just a interesting abstract thing here, but I did have paint on a canvas and I didn't want to squander that, so let's just see if this can turn into anything. And as I put the paint on the canvas, there was zero thought put into its arrangement. Just kind of turning it into a little face here, keeping it abstract. All right, it's garbage. That's not going to get any better. That paint is too wet. It's not going to turn into anything. Ignore. It's a valiant effort. I don't know, when it dries, which will be a long time because these are some thick clumps of paint, maybe there'll be something to salvage here. But oh man, I just snapped a brush. I had fantasies of this turning into something awesome, but it did not. So ignore that part. The other 6 paintings are cool. All right. Well, I think I'm going to call it a night. I thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all again here in 2 weeks. Remember, if you painted anything during the live stream, email it to me at clintcarneycreates@gmail.com, and I will feature it on an upcoming live stream. All right, you guys have a great night.